It's Thursday, the 30th of September 2021, and welcome to another Timeware Community Podcast. My name's Simon Birchall, and with me today, I've got a special guest, Dave Webb. How's it going, Dave?
Fine, thank you, Simon.
It's good. And also, somewhere in the building, somewhere in the background, is Mike Coop. How's it going, Mike?
It's good. It's just a bit busy today.
Busy day today. Okay, we've been asked to do a short podcast about the Timeware System Health Check. Okay, this is it's an important subject. This is a process that we carry out for a customer. When, Dave? When do people normally ask for this? Or Mike, anybody? When do people normally ask for this?
It's normally when they have a new starter with the site, or someone's taking over the system.
So somebody who's an administrator, like a Timeware
administrator. Yeah, and the system's been in a few years now. So, and they've had a go at setting up their own schedules and adding absenteeism, and they're not too sure what works and what doesn't work.
Yes.
And it's mainly.
So, would you say, Mike? Would you say this type of customer normally has had the system in for a number of years? It's not one that's been installed last year, a couple of years ago. It's something maybe in for 10, 15 years, maybe.
Yeah, long-serving customer.
So we would have configured the system, let's say back in 2012 or something, and system's been working fine. Maybe somebody new starts managing the system. They make changes to the system. Maybe this was before the managed service was in place. They make changes to the system, and it starts to go a bit odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, or they've had a massive change of the way they work over the years. So.
Have we seen a big change because of COVID? Has this happened?
No, not really, Simon. It's just like the general progression of companies. They change the way they work. Over 15 years, they things change. They've got like a lot of archive data, a lot of stuff that they don't require anymore.
So what normally happens? How do we get to hear about this from the customer? They don't know to call it a system health check. So what's the first we hear, Mike?
They usually report it to support or to projects.
What do they report?
That they just want to see if they can get more out of the system. Usually that's the first one, getting more out of the system.
Would it be more to do with, let's say, what Dave was saying was lots of maybe shifts that are applicable. So on some of the screens, we have drop downs, don't worry, there's lots of daily schedules to choose from. And I guess that would be a trigger where somebody says, hang on, a lot of these daily schedules or period schedules are just not in use, that we don't even know where they're from, when they're from. So these are things that so that causes a support call.
And then usually sometimes where our contact for the customer has been the same person for the last 5 years, they're leaving the business and it's the new contact phoning us. That tends to happen a little more, really.
Okay. All right. So that's the starting point. That's the trigger. What happens then, Mike? What would your projects? What support do? Would they pass it to projects or deal with it themselves?
No, they'd pass it through to projects.
Okay.
And then we'd arrange for an implementation specialist to go on site.
Yeah.
And do a system health check.
Okay, the fact that it's being passed to projects, does this mean there's a cost involved?
Not for the initial meeting, no.
Okay, so what would you do then for that initial meeting? What do you organise?
So I arrange for an implementation specialist, so usually Dave or Brad. They go to the site and sit down with the new contact or the contact.
Jump across to you, Dave. What would you do at that meeting? What do you?
I kind of run it like a pre-installation meeting, really. So I'll have a look at I want to see their system and see what all the schedules they've got. They could have hundreds of different daily schedules, period schedules, absences that they don't longer use, or things that don't make any sense to this new team of people who may have taken over the system. Yeah. And then I would then sit down and I'll do like a pre-installation meeting, and then work out.
So you don't do any work. You don't do any changes there and then, do you?
No.
It's just a sort of an analysis of the current situation.
I have a series of scripts that I can run that will tell me, gives me information like the last time a schedule was used, and how many employees are not, it's been so many years since certain employees have clocked in and out, because they maybe still haven't made the people who have left leavers.
So this might reveal some GDPR issues as well.
Yeah, and it does a lot of stuff. So it's I'm looking at the last time an absence was used, looking at the last time a period schedule was used, a daily schedule was used, and I gathered all that information. And then I would then do my pre-installation, and I would also then, so when I come back, I would then do a report and a plan of action of what we need to do.
Okay, and that report gets passed back to projects, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then your team makes a decision as whether there's going to be a cost for repairing this or not. Quote sent off to the customer, whether it's a zero value or a valued quote, and then if the customer goes for that, what would happen on that day? You'd be back on site, Dave. Is this something you do remotely? Or?
Yeah, up to yet no, because it's not always good to do it remotely, because
why is that?
You still need to ask the customer questions. I mean, there might be something that you haven't really covered everything in the, you do your best to cover everything in the pre-installation.
Yeah.
But something might just crop up while you think, I never thought about that. Okay, they've got this, and I just need to ask the question. But with COVID, if the customer doesn't want you on site, well, then we would do it remotely. But I prefer to be on there.
Would this cover reports as well? Would it? I'm thinking of the new reports on 22 moving forward. Would that be?
Yes. I mean, it would be, because we would obviously we pushing people across now to use the new reports.
Moving from crystal reports across to
the new stuff. Yeah. And just making sure that it would be an ideal opportunity to say, okay, what reports do you use, and have we got them covered in the new report pack?
Jumping back to you, Mike. What's how long would this take? Would this just typically be a 1-day visit?
I think it's dependent on the size and how much.
The largest one we've done, maybe 2 days.
IAC we did, so it was
a couple of days. And what in terms of the costs of doing this type of work, this isn't particularly expensive, is it, to get the system back on track again? No. So we're looking at probably somewhere up to £1,000 maybe for a couple of days worth of work. All right. Is there anything else that the health
usually
check?
There's training as well included, so we'll do the system health check, and then we'll be doing the training session as well.
Right.
Because there may be ideas of and also the system is probably a few years out of date as well. Could be a few years behind, so we bring them up to the latest, and we talk about the new features and stuff.
Right. Okay. So just to recap, then, system health check. We upgrade the customer to the latest version. We run a series of tests just to see which parts of the system we can clear down, and it ends up with the system inevitably running faster because they're on the latest version, but also there's less clutter. GDPR is addressed, and we also train people.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then moving forward from that, we'll be talking to the customer regular for the post-installation meetings. Keep me addressed, making sure there's no bottlenecks, no sort of make sure everything's streamlined and working well for the customer.
Yeah.
Anything else worth mentioning on a health check?
No, I mean, we have a facility now within the software, obviously, to mark daily schedules and period schedules as being redundant. We don't have to delete them, so that they can still hit the historical data if they require that. Some companies may say, no, we got 10 years worth of data. Can you please delete them off?
Okay. So anybody who's interested in talking more about this, Mike, should it be your team they talk to or support?
Projects, I'd say. It's
projects, right? Yeah. Okay, so if they want to put if you want to email,
it's going to be myself or Liz.
Liz.broadhurst@timeware.co.uk, or if they want to put a call in, Mike, over to you.
+44 1706 659 368.
Well done. Okay, thank you very much. Cheers, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye bye.